We're going to talk about how to add multiple strokes and control their position with any object. So here, looking at the appearance window, just a basic object here. In this case, it has showing us just a fill. There's no stroke on it. We could easily, apply a stroke to it in any number of ways. Control it through here, control it through properties, control it through the toolbar. In this case, I'll hop into the toolbar and do that. Now back to appearance, I could change the stroke weight. And then if if you're familiar with going to window and stroke, there is this stroke window that has cap settings and corner settings and other things, which is, of course, often going to come in handy. But right through appearance, too, if you have an object selected, there's a stroke on it, and you just click stroke here, it will bring up that exact same control. And so from here, notice that when I click away from this, this is sort of a jagged straight edge, whereas here I've rounded it out. And so what I want to do here is also make that round. So from within appearance, I'll click on stroke, and then I'll just go to a round join. And then it's going to make that more sort of elegant looking curve. From there, adding a second stroke to it, I select the object. And from within appearance, I have toward the bottom of it, add new stroke, the option to do that. So this will add a new stroke attribute, add it right there. And we can then change the color of it by clicking on the color right here. So let's make it red, and then we will reduce the stroke weight of that too. And this one already has that same sort of rounded edge on it. So very simple to do, and I could continue to add as many strokes as I want to. Now, when you start to have multiple strokes stacked on top of each other, of course they can all have different stroke weights, and they can overlap each other. They are in layers within the appearance window, and so each of these strokes, this is on bottom, this is in the middle, this is on top, and they can be moved around, which you do have to have the object selected, then go into it, and from there change that stacking order in any way that you want to. But the other thing is they can be repositioned around the path itself. So if you look at these two circles in outline view, they're identical. They're just two circles, and they have the exact same strokes on them as well. So this one and this one, same exact strokes. Difference being they're configured differently. So with this one, if I click on stroke and I look at align stroke, all of them are going to be aligned to the center of that path. Whereas in this one, the red one is aligned currently to the outside, the blue one is aligned to the inside, and the yellow one is also aligned to the inside. And I could go in and change any of those and say I want this one to be on the inside, and you can go through and start to change them around, and that will greatly make the way that each of those strokes looks quite different. And so here's an example of, first of all, just text, and this is still editable text, so I could go into this and it's going to continue to have the same stroke and appearance settings on it, which if I click on those, it's just there's a fill and there's a red stroke and there's a white stroke. If I try to go into these as their editable text and attempt that same thing, click on stroke, it's not going to let me do any different alignments. So I do actually have to then, in this case, convert that text to outlines, so Illustrator will treat it more like a shape, which I could select that type, go up to type, then down to create outlines, and that's going to convert those into shapes. From there, you can ungroup each of them from one another and affect them differently. So here now, I've just gone through and same thing, started to change around the alignment of the stroke from just being centered to being something else. And again, these are identical stroke weights and everything, but I'm just repositioning them. And you can see it can start to look very different depending on how you decide to align them. So in the next video, we'll talk about sort of a more real world example of how to do something like this, a little bit more complicated.